everyone, it's Margaret with Creative Stamping with Margaret. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm here to share with you one of the cards from the March 2025 card class. For the month of March, we focused on the Friends of the Ocean product suite. That includes this gorgeous Friends of the Ocean Designer Series paper and the Ocean Friends bundle. Included in that suite, there are also some embellishments and an embossing folder. But on to today's card. In the description of this video is where you're going to find all of the dimensions and the materials used. So I'm not going to go over all of the dimensions in this video. Just know that you can find those in the description. So our card today, I've used a few outside elements. One is I've used the Just a Note stamp, and that's from the Simply Said stamp set. I've also used the All Around dies, and that's these that are they're a fairly new die set, so that they're not a complete, they're asymmetrical circles. And in the description, I'll tell you which two that I used, counting down, so that you will know the size. But on to creating today's card. Other materials that we're using Berry Burst ink, Lemon Lime Twist, Summer Splash. For our other stamps, in addition to Just a Note from the Ocean Friends, we're using the Algae stamp, the Coral stamp, the Bubble stamps, and then to embellish our envelope and the interior of the card, we're using the Lobster. And this is two-step stamping, so you'll need both the solid and then the outline stamp of the Lobster. Pull in the cardstocks and so forth. So we have our Berry Burst, which is our card base. And then two panels. One is for the layering. This is our pumpkin pie. So we're going to go ahead, we'll add that panel onto the front. And then I don't do it on all cards, but a lot of my cards, I like to also use the panel on the interior, and that's what I have done on this card. So we will go ahead and add that. And then on the top layer of the pumpkin pie, I have cut a piece of the Designer Series paper, and that is the one that has the different corals and algae and other plants that you will find in the ocean. So we will add that piece to the front of our card. Got that over just a touch. Let me move this before it sets. There, much better. Now we're going to do some stamping. Let me pull in my little pad that I like to use. And here we have that asymmetrical circle that I have cut. The larger one is cut out of the Berry Burst. And then this is the one that we will use on the front of the card for stamping. So first, let's stamp our Just a Note. Now what I liked to do was I placed and determined how I was going to place this on the front of my card. And I pulled in my lobster and my crab, and I just sort of placed them because I want to make sure that I have enough room. So down in this corner is where I'm going to stamp my Just a Note, and I am stamping that in Berry Burst. Then we're just going to stamp a little sea life background before we place the other elements on the card. So first let's stamp some of the coral, and this is with the Summer Splash. I'm going to leave that open because I will need that for our little bubbles. And I stamped off for my bubbles. I'm going to grab the little double bubbles and just put a couple of those. You'll also note on my card I have added 3 starfish, and that is from the little starfish die that is in the die set of the Ocean Friends. And so I have also pre-cut those. I did one out of the pumpkin pie, the lemon lime twist, and the summer splash. You could do them all in one color if you wanted, but I just decided to mix it up a little. So now I'm going to determine where I want this and add this to our layering panel, Berry Burst. And I adhered this flat to the card. Next, we will add our lobster and our crabs, and I'm just pulling to see if I have any other dimensionals handy, but I think they're all. So we will just continue to use the pieces off of these dimensionals. I need to use I like to use the entire pack, so I will use the pieces. They work just as well. through. I pull that back when we stamp our inside in our envelope. So let's add this to our card. I see I have blue ink on my fingers today. And we'll put the crab going down like so. A little different position than on the other card, but that's quite all right. So we're going to place our little crab in that location. Now we will add our 3 starfish. And then we'll add a couple of the sunny day dots. And to place the starfish, I just add a drop of glue where I think I want to place them, or where I am going to place it, and that seems to work well. And then, as I said, we're going to pull in, and the card looks great just like this, but I wanted to add a little bit more bling. So I'm using the Sunny Day iridescent dots because they sort of mimic a bubble. So we just place a couple of those around using various colors. I think 3 will be enough. So we've finished our card, except for the interior panel and the envelope, and those are the fun parts. But where did I move my white paper that I wanted to stamp the interior of the card? Oh, here it is. I was moving things around and moved it out of the way, and I need that. Okay, so now let's bring our crabs in, or excuse me, our lobster, not our crab, and let's bring in the Berry Burst ink. And the first thing I like to do is stamp the solid panel. I found for this it was easier to do that. So we're going to ink up the solid piece. We're just going to stamp. Oh, I meant to stamp off. Excuse me, let's flip that over. We want to stamp off on this solid one. Remember to stamp off. Much better. Now we're going to go back with our outline, and this we do not stamp off. And then this lines up, I found, by just lining up the head and the tail. seem to place most of all of it in the place it should be. See how beautiful that turns out? We're going to do a partial lobster on the front of our envelope. You could also do a whole one, but I'm just going to do the upper portion of the lobster. There again, stamping off. I remembered that time. Now we go back and line up the head. So the last thing we have to do is just add this center panel to our card. There, I had ink on my hand, but I can get that off easily with a little eraser. Sometimes I find a gum eraser will take that right off, as well as I have the mono eraser, so I will take care of that later. If not, they'll just know that it's a homemade card with a love touch. So this is Margaret Knight. This is our Just a Note Ocean Friends card. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have a minute, just take and subscribe to my channel so you'll get notified when the other cards from this class are posted. Have a great day.